my beautiful little unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're on my channel, my name is Vanessa and I, and I would like to welcome you into the fam. So guys, it's been a minute since I've updated you on the fated messages that are present for you, which is exactly why today's tarot card reading is centered around just that. Urgent, fated messages by the universe and your guides that you need to hear of. Also, just as a little disclaimer, today's readings are going to be really chill, relaxed, and laid back because the entire point of my channel is to bring you not only divine guidance, but also healing energy and to calm any type of tension or anxiety that you may have, because my channel truly is the most healing channel on YouTube. So if you're not yet subscribed to my channel and you already feel right at home and you're enjoying the vibes, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. I upload multiple times a week. That way you'll know that I'm always right there in your subscription feed whenever you need any type of reassurance, clarity, or healing energy to help you get through a tough day. So returning back to the four groups that I have prepared for you today, they are as follows. Group number 1 corresponds to the Deviant Moon Tarot deck and the Rose Quartz Crystal Heart. Group number 2 corresponds to the Divine Feather Messenger Oracle deck as well as the Azurite. Group number 3 corresponds to the Amber as well as the Ostara Tarot deck. And group number 4 corresponds to the Amazonite as well as the Tattoo Tarot deck. But all of the names of the decks as well as the crystals and the timestamps can be found down below in the description box as well as pinned to the comment section. So all that you need to do is go down into the description box, click your corresponding timestamp, and you will be fast forwarded to the relevant part of your reading. Furthermore, if you're on the hunt for crystal jewelry or just crystals in general, make sure that you check out my store bowlife.com. that is also linked in the description box. So whether it's my tarot deck, my crystals, or crystal jewelry, I offer worldwide shipping straight to your doorstep. So I'm just going to give you a little moment of privacy with the four groups in order for you to have the ability to meditate on them and pick the right group for you. So by now you've hopefully chosen one or two of these four groups, because if you can't make up your mind, feel free to tune into 2 readings. Depending on your situation, you may actually need messages from 2 or more groups. But now we'll get into the readings. We'll be starting off with the first group, which corresponds to the Deviant Moon Tarot deck. So if this is the group that you intuitively feel drawn towards, you don't need to do anything, simply keep watching. And for all of my other beautiful groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello group number 1 and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Deviant Moon Tarot deck as well as the Rose Quartz Heart. Let's do a quick close-up of your stone just so you can get acquainted with its healing and very loving energies. This is a stone of love as well as friendship, which may be why you chose it, but maybe you also felt drawn towards the Rose Quartz Heart because you just liked its appearance. All of that is completely valid. Now let's move into your reading with the Deviant Moon Tarot deck first. So let's see what fated messages that the universe has for you. First up, we have the 5 of Wands. So group number 1, in the 5 of Wands, I can definitely see here that a fated message is for you to not feel like you're in competition with other people. As you can see here, there's some sort of fight, some sort of struggle between different people, different entities, and that is where you're being torn in many different directions. So group number 1, think for example, scrolling through your feed on Instagram or whatever social platform that you choose to use and comparing your looks, your achievements, your accomplishments to other people. Some people you may know, some people you may have never met, and that may make you feel really bad because you're comparing yourself to something that's not worth comparing to. So in the 5 of Wands, I can definitely see that one of the fated messages from the universe, from your guides to you, group number 1, is to make sure that you're only comparing yourself to who you were yesterday. Nobody else, nothing else is worth worth comparing to. Next, we have the Page of Pentacles. So in the Page of Pentacles, I can see here that comparison may be something that has stopped you from reaching your fullest and highest potential in your career. So think the earthly realms with material gains and just overall your career, group number one, and comparing yourself to others and maybe being afraid of starting something new, because let's be real, starting a new business or starting a blog, a YouTube channel, whatever it is that you may have thought of beginning, it's really scary to be that person who's starting at zero, especially when you compare yourself to people who have already been successful or already been doing this for years. There is a sense of shame that's attached to that. I can see here in the star, however, the star that just popped right out of the deck, as you may have seen while I was shuffling, there is hope on the horizon for you to get over any of these feelings of shame or feelings of inadequacy and inferiority. So I can definitely see here in correspondence to the Five of Wands and the Page of Pentacles that really the only thing holding you back from more success, as well as learning how to step into your highest self when it comes to your career, when it comes to manifesting things in the earthly realms and making the most of your time here on this planet, the only thing that's stopping you is you comparing your accomplishments and yourself to other people. So it's very important for you, group number one, that you move forward in a loving way with yourself and that you make sure that you're not comparing yourself to other people, because there's literally no point. You don't know how much help that anyone has gotten in order to get to where they are today. You don't know how long they've truly been working on it. You also don't know if it's even true, because social media is deceiving. I mean, yeah, a picture says more than 1,000 words, but at the same time, a picture can sometimes also encompass 1,000 lies in this day and age. Let's move further into it. We have nostalgia. So in nostalgia, I can see here that your guides want you to focus on the present moment and to not already freak yourself out when you think about the future. So in nostalgia, do make sure that you're paying close attention to what's happening now and that you're enjoying the ride. Don't continuously tell yourself that you'll be happy once you've lost weight or once you've accomplished a certain amount of material success. Be happy now. There is absolutely no point in being happy later, because you never know when later may come, and life is just way too short for you to not be focused on living your best life right now. No matter what your physical body looks or feels like, make the most of every moment and every situation. Next up, we have the storm. Now, group number one, in the storm, I do see here that the guides, the universe, want you to know that every hurricane, any storm, any difficult situation comes to an end. Nothing lasts forever. Everything is changing, is fleeting, is constantly taking on new shapes and new forms. So just as you're being invited to focus on the here and now, you're also being invited to remind yourself that while amazing moments are fleeting, so are difficult ones, okay? They're not going to last forever. And I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but you received two very interesting numbers, group number one. We have the number 33 attached to nostalgia, as well as the number 44, which is attached to these storms. So the number 33 and 44, these are master numbers. These are very special numbers with strong powers. And in conjunction to the rest of your reading, group number one, you may want to look out for the number 33 as well as 44, just overall seeing these numbers in your day-to-day life. You may see the number 33 on a license plate or somewhere when you're out and about. You may buy something that costs exactly $33 once you're at the checkout. So these are all synchronicities that the universe is trying to point out to you and trying to give you a chance to become aware of and to look out for. But let's move a little further into your reading, group number one, to see what other fated messages are present for you today. So we have Thanatos. Now, group number 1, I do want you to know here in Thanatos that this is a card that speaks of an ending. This is the card that speaks of you having to leave the past in the past and be in the present moment, just as we spoke about here in nostalgia. So leave the past in the past by also getting rid of behavioral patterns that you can leave in the past, such as constantly comparing yourself to others, because it doesn't matter what you achieve. I can see here from your reading that a little part of you still feels as though it's not enough and still kind of compares lots of your successes to other people's success, and that takes away from the moment. So it's so important for you, group number 1, to learn to just enjoy your success and not look around, not look to your left or to your right and compare any of your accomplishments to what somebody else may have done. Next up, we have the thread. Now, group number 1, in the thread, I do see here that there is some sort of silver lining. There's some sort of thread that just continuously shows up within your life that you can kind of hold on to in order to get to that light, in order to get to that rainbow. And that's something that goes in really beautifully with the star, but you need to find that thread. You need to find almost like that lifeline, group number 1. Do you see right here in the thread card how this is almost like a lifeline from a dark, difficult moment to the rainbow, to the light that's up here? So that is one thing that I can see the universe kind of trying to point out to you by telling you that every hurricane comes to an end, like we spoke about in the storm, which corresponds to the number 44, but also putting the star in your reading, which shows that there is new hope on the horizon. But it is important for you to keep in mind that you are in control of any type of strategies that you can use to lift yourself out of a dark and difficult situation. You are in control of making sure that you hold on tightly to that lifeline and that you never let it stray too far away from you, even if you're doing well. So your lifeline may be, for example, meditation, it may be yoga, it may be going to therapy and being able to speak to someone. Now, if you're, for example, going to therapy and you've overcome the shame or the difficulty of starting therapy, because it always comes with kind of like this stigma, which we truly need to end, group number 1, then there may be weeks or even months where everything is going fine and you feel like you no longer need it. But that doesn't mean that you should just throw away your therapist's number and never go back, because you never know when you will need them again or when something will pop up. So it is important for you, even when you're doing well, to stick to your lifelines and be consistent, whether it be talking to a professional, meditating, working out, eating healthily, doing yoga. It doesn't really matter. I mean, insert whatever works best for you in place of the therapist example that I put out there, but you get what I mean. Stay consistent even when you're doing well. Next up, we have the crone. So one thing that I can see here in the crone is that it's very important for you to not allow flashy things or what seems like a life of luxury and abundance to make you feel inferior or to make you feel like you're not doing as well as you should. On social media, it seems as though everyone has unlimited funds and everyone is traveling the world and doing amazing and going to all of these different places and is only successful, and that's because nobody wants to put out their dirty laundry on social media. I mean, it makes perfect sense because the internet is forever, and what you put out there is maybe going to come back to haunt you, and it is something that isn't going to go away. But do know here in the crone that with that comes a lot of deceit, so don't allow yourself to feel bad for a fabricated photo or story that someone else may have put up there just to make themselves look good. Next up, we have the Queen of Diamonds, group number 1. In the Queen of Diamonds reversed, I can see here that it's important for you to take a little step back now from making any big decisions in business and instead focus on your internal world and focus on making sure that you're no longer comparing yourself to other people or other people's accomplishments before you move forward. I can see here in the 9 of Crystals, group number 1, that it's about time that you give yourself some words of kindness, some words of encouragement, and that you hype hype yourself up, really, especially if you don't have someone in your life who kind of acts as a cheerleader or kind of pushes you on. It is important that you do that for yourself. So I am going to be using 1 or 2 charms for you, group number 1. First, we have, what is this? A beautiful peacock. So group number 1, let me do a quick close-up. There we go. So in this beautiful peacock charm, the universe is trying to give you this message of not only hyping yourself up, but also reminding yourself that you are worthy, that you are lovable, and that you're beautiful. Let yourself shine, just as the male peacock isn't afraid to show his beautiful big feathers to the entire world and isn't afraid to put himself out there. You should do the same, group number 1. Let's move further into your reading. Next up, we have the Eye of Ra. So I can definitely see here, in conjunction to your reading, that it's all about you being brave, standing up for yourself, and also following your intuition. Don't feel as though you have to reason or justify your decisions. Next up, we have this airplane. So in conjunction to the eye, it is very important for you to travel if you need to and see new places as soon as it is available, safe, and possible for you. So I can definitely see for you, group number 1, that seeing different parts of the world and different cultures, that's really going to open your eye to a lot of possibilities, and it truly is going to be the key to your success. So success not only being financial success, I mean success emotionally. You know, when you see how other people live and what other people go through, how other people perceive life and kind of do life, that often strikes a nerve and lets you see things from a different perspective, which often opens up new doors for different ways of thinking, as well as a new amount of gratitude for everything that is going well in your life and that you maybe take for granted, such as having running water, such as being able to access the internet and having a roof over your head to keep you dry and keep you safe. So group number 1, these are the fated messages that I have received for you. I really hope that they resonated and hit home and that you found them insightful. Leave a little key emoji down below in the comment section if you made it to the end of your reading. Furthermore, feel free to let me know down below in the comment section what hit home for you within this reading, and I'll see you in another one of my videos. Hello, group number 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Azurite in conjunction to the Divine Feather Messenger Oracle deck. Let's do a quick close-up of your crystal so you can get acquainted with its energy and just take in the Azurite's royal vibration. So the intense blue color of this mineral was used to create paintings for, royals and people who could afford it. It comes with somewhat of a regal as well as privileged history. But now let's move into your reading, shall we? I'll be starting off with the feather that you felt drawn towards, which is the meadowlark's feather. So one thing that I can see here as a fated message for you, group number 2, is that you are being called to just smile right now. So allow for the corners of your mouth to tilt upwards. Don't look at the screen so seriously, group number 2. Smile and allow for your smile to signal to your brain that you're ready to experience this wonderful journey of inner discovery. Now let's move further into your reading, group number 2. I truly hope that you're still smiling and that this reading brings you joy as well as healing energy. That's the whole point. So next we have the Oriole. So in the Oriole, I can see here that there's a new creative venture that's on the horizon for you, group number 2, and you're being called to see this as a positive change, because whenever there's a new venture or some sort of new project that's on the horizon, that can often attach strings to letting go of old projects or old creative ventures. So in the Oriole, I can definitely see that you're being called to let go of any negative emotions that you associate with a new project beginning and an old one ending. Next, we have the Eagle. Now, group number 2, in the eagle, I can see here that you're learning every aspect of your spiritual connection and reaching new heights. The eagle is a very powerful as well as meaningful symbol. So if you happen to see the symbol of the eagle within the next few days, do know here that this is a symbol that you're moving in the right direction when it comes to your spiritual connection and growing on a spiritual level. So if you do see a symbol of an eagle within the next few days, do remind yourself of this reading and how the symbol of the eagle for you right now is attached to spiritual growth as well as finding new heights when it comes to your spirituality, maybe even a spiritual awakening that is coming towards you sooner rather than later, group number 2. Next up, we have the temple. Now, group number 2, in the temple, I can definitely see here that your guides in the universe are trying to speak to you about your inner world and your temple. So your reading isn't so much about outer influences and how other people are affecting you. These faded messages really have a lot to do with what's going on with you internally, group number 2. What are you keeping to yourself that maybe needs to come out, that would maybe benefit from you just allowing the world to hear about it? I can see here in the bridge that being honest with yourself as well as just being yourself and allowing yourself to be authentic is exactly what you need in order to bridge the gap between you and other people. So group number 2, if you have for some reason felt disconnected from the world or other people and you find it really difficult or awkward to make new friends or just to talk to people who you don't know very well in general, do know here in conjunction to the temple and the bridge that being authentic and allowing for yourself to just say the things that are on your mind is what will truly create strong new connections and what will take away a lot of anxiety, because when you overthink what you're going to say next, of course, who wouldn't be nervous? But if you just say what's on your mind and you're just true to yourself and the things that you love, nothing can go wrong, because you're going into new relationships and new social settings with the mindset of either they just like me for who I am and for what I naturally tend to say, or they don't. And in either case, I'm okay with that. I'm at peace with it and it is valid. So now I'm going to move into your reading with a few charms. Group number 2, you may have already asked yourself what that sound is. It's just my bag of charms. So first and foremost, we have the flamingo charm. So in the flamingo, group number 2, I do see here that it's important for you to remind yourself of nourishing your body and making sure that you're taking all of the vitamins and minerals in that you need. You may or may not know this, but flamingos aren't just pink always. They're pink from the food that they eat and the nutrients that are within that food. And if they don't have enough of that food, if they don't take in enough of those nutrients, they're more of a pale pink, or they may actually even remain white. So it is very important for you, group number 2, to make sure that you're nourishing your body so you can truly glow just as the pink flamingos do, and truly allow yourself to look best, because beauty is something that comes from the inside out. Next up, we have the lotus flowers. So I can see here in the lotus, group number 2, that moving forward, it is highly, highly important for you to see things from a very holistic standpoint. So not feeling like, for example, pimples or unclear skin originates right in that area of your body or originates right from that portion of your skin. It is something that most likely goes way deeper. It could be stress related, it could be related to your diet, it could be that there are just certain substances that your body is no longer okay with. So make sure that you're continuously checking in with yourself and your body. So let's move further into your reading in order to figure out what other faded messages are present for you, group number 2. So next up, we have the lioness. Now, group number 2 in the lioness, I can see here that the universe is trying to remind you of the fact that you have earned all of your stripes. Whether that be, for example, stretch marks from growing, from your body going through things, whether that be, like I said, growth or pregnancy, depending on where you are in life, you have earned all of your stripes. The same goes for any types of scars that you may have. These may be acne scars. These may be scars from hurting yourself in some way. Be grateful to your body's ability to heal these wounds and to bridge these times where you're going through a lot, and remind yourself that this can be treated like a badge of honor. There is no reason for you to be ashamed of any type of scars or any type of exterior imperfections, because all of these imperfections tell a story. It is the story of you. It is the story of how brave you've been and how you've been able to overcome adversity and get to where you are today. Next up, we have the lighthouse. The most important message that you have here within the lighthouse is that you're always enough and that you're called to stop doubting your own worth. That is a fated message that the universe feels like you need to hear right now, group number 2, and you may even want to just hang up a little sign or some sort of little depiction in your home, in your living space, that says I'm always enough, or has some other type of affirmation on there that is helpful to you, that allows you to be constantly reminded of your self-worth and your value. Next up, we have the stars. So in these stars, I can see here that the universe is trying to remind you of the fact that you can manifest anything that you wish for. You can manifest anything that is important to you or that you desire more of in your life, but you have to believe in it and you have to make sure that you're putting in the work. So not just wishing, actually manifesting, actually writing it into existence. Okay, for some reason, writing is just so much more powerful than simply thinking something, or for example, saying it. Make sure that you're writing it down as well, and that you truly believe that you can get there, that you start to wire your brain in a way that you don't see a discrepancy between your manifestations and your actual life, your actual state of being. Next up, we have the throne. So group number 2, in the throne, remind yourself here about your potential being endless. That is a fated message that the universe wanted you to have last but absolutely not least, group number 2, to remind yourself that you are beautiful, that you deserve a throne, that you are the king, the emperor, the empress, the queen of your life, and that your potential is limitless. No matter what you want in life, no matter where you see yourself going, no matter whether you see yourself being very creative or working yourself up the ranks in the business world. I want you to know here in the throne, group number 2, that one of the most important fated messages for you is to not only smile and be happy and content with yourself, but to also remind yourself that your potential is endless. So group number 2, the universe, your guides truly felt as though you needed to hear these fated messages, and I hope that they resonated with you and that you're leaving this video feeling more content as well as relaxed than at the start of it. That's the whole point of my channel as well as my videos. So if this is in fact the case, make sure that you leave a little rainbow emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you made it to the end of your reading and that this is the group that you chose. Feel free to also let me know down below in the comment section what hit home for you. So group number 2, know that I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for spending this divine time with me, and I'll see you in another one of my videos. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Amber in conjunction to the Ostara tarot. Let me show you a quick close-up of the crystal of your choice so you can get acquainted with its energy and its vibration. So the Amber is such a beautiful stone, which, it's actually a piece of fossilized tree resin, and it is very expensive to acquire. So if you're looking for Amber, make sure that you get it from a credible source. So I will leave your stone right here. Now let's move into your reading with your Ostara tarot deck. let's figure out what fated messages are present for you, group number 3. First up, we have the Four of Swords. Now, group number 3 in the Four of Swords, I can see here that a fated message that you need to hear right now is to take rest, group number 3, to make sure that you're taking enough time to sleep, enough time to recuperate your strength, as well as to let things sink in. Sleep is a lot more important than a lot of people realize, because sleep allows you to process today, to process your emotions, and it also keeps you healthy. It keeps you in a not only mental but physically healthy state. It helps protect you from lots of different diseases such as cardiovascular disease, certain cancers, and so on. You getting enough sleep is really important, and you shouldn't let the toxic kind of work and hustle culture get to you to the point where it is actually harming your health, group number 3. That's a fated message you need to hear right now. Next up, we have the High Priestess. So in the High Priestess, group number 3, I can see here that your guides and the universe feel as though a fated message that you need to hear is just how powerful that you are, and how much of the power when it comes to your life that you hold within your hands. So it is important for you to realize that it is entirely up to you how much rest that you get. It is entirely up to you whether you see that as being lazy or you see that as you actually taking care of yourself. Because one thing in our society right now and the current trends is that it seems as though self-care is something that a lot of people tell you to do. But then on the other side, people act surprised when you're like, sorry, doing self-care, can't show up to school or work, or I can't hang out right now. So there's kind of like this discrepancy between what people are preaching and what people are actually allowing you to do without a guilty conscience. So that is where I can see here in the High Priestess in conjunction to the Four of Swords that you have to remind yourself that only you truly know what's best for you, and sometimes it's even confusing to know for yourself what's best for you. So don't let anybody else make you feel bad or make you feel as though your feelings or your emotions, you needing rest, isn't valid or seems like it's lazy. It's not lazy, group number 3. That's a very unhelpful way in which people skillfully pressure you to do what they want in their time. Next up, we have the Page of Wands. So in the Page of Wands, I can see here, group number 3, that it is important for you to feed into your creativity and to make sure that you're taking enough time for little DIY projects on the side. So if you have some materials collected or some ideas that you have had on the side for a DIY project or something you wanted to finish in your living space, do it now, group number 3. I can see here in the King of Cups that it is important for you that you take responsibility of your own emotional well-being and state. So don't allow for other people to tell you whether you should feel good or feel bad given whatever your situation is. Make sure that you reflect and go deep within in order to decide whether you are in a good headspace or not. And it's okay to not be in a good headspace, group number 3. It is okay for you to go through a stage of depression or for you to go through a stage of wanting to relapse to any type of disorder that you may have suffered from or struggled with in the past. The thing is just that a lot of people don't talk about when they feel like relapsing. A lot of people don't talk about when they feel like going back to a habit that they know isn't healthy or doesn't serve them in a long run. So that's where it's important for you to just be honest with yourself, group number 3. And by being honest with yourself, you can hopefully actually process what's going on internally with you rather than straight up relapsing or going back to an unhealthy friend, an unhealthy ex, or an unhealthy habit. Next up, we have the Vessel. Now, group number 3, in the Vessel, I can see here that a fated message for you is to take good care of the vessel that was given to you for this lifetime, which is your physical body. Okay, the vessel in which your soul lives, and your soul can travel this earth and can travel this time. So it is very important for you to remind yourself that you only get one body. And despite what society is trying to tell us about different shapes and, colors and sizes and looks and textures not being attractive and that there's only a very small range of bodies that are accepted or ideal. That is so false, group number 3. Remind yourself of the fact that every human being only gets one body, and that the media was designed to make most people feel unhappy with their bodies, when it's actually such a blessing to have even received a functioning body. If you're here watching this video, praise yourself and your body for carrying you through all of these years up until this point, keeping you safe, allowing you to move around, allowing for your soul to exist in this earthly plane. There is nothing other than your body being beautiful that is present within this space, group number 3. There is nothing that anyone should be able to tell you that would make you feel like your body isn't good enough or isn't amazing or hasn't done great things for you. Now, of course, I understand that by saying all bodies are beautiful, you're just feeding again into this notion that beauty is important or means something, but that is not the point that I'm trying to make, group number 3. The point that I'm trying to make is that all bodies are worth being loved and appreciated by their owner. So whether that means that you also think that your body is beautiful in its own way, or whether you just think my body is kind, my body has graciously brought me to this point and I'm grateful for that. That is completely up to you, but understand the concept behind it and the fact that it is just such rubbish that we live in the world where some bodies are better than others. All bodies that have propelled us to live on this earth for so many years, that are here supporting our souls, all of them are valid and all of them are doing amazing work. Next up, we have the Destroyer. Now, group number 3, in the Destroyer, I can definitely see that you were put on this planet to make change. I can definitely see here that you're someone who invokes a lot of thought in other people, group number 3, and you're someone who is able to change other people's perspectives more than you ever thought possible. So I can definitely see here in the Destroyer that you're the type of person who likes to do their own research first before you bring it out into the world, and that is so important and not only valid but something that I would always encourage, because there are far too many people on this planet, group number 3, who are overly confident and cocky even though they've done like zero research about what they're actually confident about. But with you, it's the other way around. It takes you a lot of time to research and be confident about something, but once you know, and you have important messages to spread and important messages that other people need to hear. Next up, we have the 5 of Swords. So group number 3, in the 5 of Swords, I do want you to look out for any kind of deceit and for any situation where there are things written in fine print. So if you're signing any contract in the next few weeks, or you're looking at anything that has something written in like fine print, group number 3, read it through thoroughly. Give it to another person to read through, or even a lawyer. If you feel kind of iffy or if you feel like it's necessary, it most likely is. And it is definitely something that will benefit you in the long run and that will make you think, thank God I had someone else look over this thing so I didn't end up in a difficult situation, so I didn't end up being fooled by the fine print. Next up, we have the Knight of Wands. So group number 3, in the Knight of Wands, I can definitely see one of the important faded messages that are present for you is that right now it's important for you to move forward with a lot of ambition, a lot of strength, and if you have to kind of like go to war with your fears, to go to war with anything that has been holding you back. So your fears or things that have been holding you back could be, the thought that your body isn't good enough, or that your body is X, Y, or Z, like negative thing. Go to war on that notion. Find reasons why that is untrue. We live in a world where a certain ideal is constantly being shoved down our throats, and it can be hard to find anything that speaks against that. But that is why my channel exists, and that is why you are here, group number 3, in order to find different ways of seeing things, different ways of living life, and different ways of explaining to other people that their feelings, their bodies, their struggles are valid and they're real, and that one struggle or one type of image isn't better than the other. And that's all just a myth that was created through capitalism that has now come to a point where we are exploiting people's fears, where we are exploiting people's insecurities for money. But as soon as you can remove yourself from that, you will feel so liberated and free, and you will be able to spread that message and teach others how you learned to overcome it. Next up, we have the Knight of Cups. Now, group number 3, in the Knight of Cups, I can see that you have some sort of message coming for you that's going to make you feel really good. So this could be a message from someone who you're romantically interested in. This could be a message from just a loved one or a family member telling you how amazing that you are and telling you how they're always here for you and that they love you. So you do have an important message that's coming in form of like a text or a phone call that will brighten up your entire day. Next up, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Now, group number 3, in the Wheel of Fortune, I do want you to know here that there are ups and downs coming, but overall, things are looking overwhelmingly positive for you. That is one of the important fated messages that you are meant to hear, group number 3, and to remind yourself that even if you feel like people were trying to kind of play on your emotions and trying to con you out of money or con you out of something that serves them, not everybody is like that. Most people in your life are very caring and also very loyal and giving, but sometimes it can be difficult to remind yourself of that or to feel as though that is the reality that you live in, especially with all of the misinformation and just messages that the media tends to spread just in order to make money, right? So it is important for you to know here in the Wheel of Fortune that it is mostly in your control how you see life and how you see the world, how you see your body, and what you deem as acceptable, what you deem as valid, and what you deem as beautiful should you choose to want to have quote unquote beauty within your life. Or maybe you just feel like you want to see everything as valid, the end, not rating anything, not saying that one body or one person is more beautiful than the other. Because one thing that we have now with all of this body positivity is that a lot of people who have a quote unquote ideal body, when they want to jump onto the train of body positivity and the whole movement, they are the odd ones out. This whole thing that was supposed to be body positivity and all-inclusive actually then excludes a group of people, even though it's a very small group of people that is being excluded, which is the group of people who have the ideal body type. That is still not the whole point of the body positivity movement that people who aren't praised, who aren't celebrated, are trying to push forward, right? Body positivity should be all-inclusive, whether you have an ideal body type or one that the media does not display as conventionally attractive or worthy of striving for. So that is an important little note to keep in the back of your head and to make sure that you meditate on, and to make sure that you touch upon all of the different nuances that come with these topics. Now, group number 3, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Leave a little horse emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you made it to the end of your reading and that you found it insightful. As usual, feel free to let me know what message really hit home for you and what maybe even changed your way of thinking a little bit and gave you a little mini epiphany. Now, group number 3, know that I'm thinking of you. I hope that you're staying safe and that you're having a wonderful day, and I'll catch you in another one of my readings. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Amazonite in conjunction to the Tattoo Tarot deck. Now, let me get you acquainted with the looks as well as the vibrations and energies of the Amazonite. This is what the Amazonite looks like. It is this stunning baby blue crystal. I absolutely love this. And this is what the Tattoo Tarot looks like underneath the Amazonite. So you may have felt drawn to this crystal because of its looks, but maybe also because of its cooling and calming energy. energies, which is especially soothing to any of you who have a lot of fire sign placements within their birth chart. But let's move into your reading in order to figure out what fated messages are present for you, group number 4. First and foremost, we have the Temperance card. So this just ties in so beautifully with you picking the Amazonite, group number 4. The Temperance card is all about allowing yourself to do everything but in moderation, okay? And also to stay away completely from habits, substances, thought processes that are only destructive. Because yes, doing everything in moderation is one way to see things, but there are also certain habits or certain things that you should not do even in moderation, group number 4. So that is where the Temperance card is showing up to kind of put a little stopper to that and to have you rethink your tendencies, group number 4. Are you someone who has like a tendency to be really obsessed with something and overdo it for a little bit and then completely forget about it? Those are the types of things that you're being called to think of and called to kind of like balance out, because being obsessed with something for a while and then just cutting it off cold turkey, whether that be, for example, working out for a week and then not working out for months, eating healthy for a week and then eating unhealthy for 3 weeks, these are all different things that are putting you through more emotional turmoil and physical turmoil than necessary, because it is like a shock to your system, whether you're going from healthy to unhealthy, working out to not working out. These are things that you should try to kind of like even out and level out, group number 4. Next up, we have the 5 of coins. Now, group number 4, in the 5 of coins, the universe is trying to tell you to temper yourself when it comes to spending. So don't spend any unnecessary money right now on something that just seems like you need it, or something that just looks good, that you have almost like a story for. So looking at a piece of clothing or a specific item, and you can already envision yourself wearing that piece of clothing in this imaginary scenario. If there is not actually an event or something to go to, if there is not a real reason for you to purchase something, don't make up an event and think that it's going to happen once you have that item. No, okay? If you're not actually going to go to a party, if you're not actually going to go to the beach or actually going to journal, you don't need the stationery, you don't need the new bikini, you don't need the beautiful ball gown, group number 4, unless you are 100% sure that you are actually going to do something with it. Next up, we have the Knight of Coins, because in the Knight of Coins, group number 4, and now this makes a lot more sense, I can see here that there are bigger commitments that you're moving towards, and you can move towards those commitments financially a lot more quickly the less you spend your money on little unnecessary things. And with big commitments, I mean, for example, being able to move into a new home soon, being able to buy new upgrades for your home, being able to get a new vehicle, just something that costs a lot of money or would take a down payment, something that you need to acquire a lot of money up front for. So that's where I can see here in Temperance, as well as the 5 of coins, that you're being called to kind of take it a notch back and make sure that you're saving as much as you possibly can, because you're going to be really grateful that you did in no time, group number 4. So let's move further into your reading to see what other fated messages are here for you. Now, group number 4, next we have Homeward. So in Homeward, I can see here that the universe wants you to take yourself on a date, a free date, okay? A cheap date. So by cheap, that doesn't have to be something negative. I mean a date that is very grounding. So going out into the nature, for example, making yourself an amazing matcha tea or just like your favorite beverage, and going out into the nature, maybe with like a thermos bottle, and just enjoying, taking yourself on a free date, a date that costs next to nothing, because you don't need anything to enjoy life. Aside from the basics, from the bare essentials, which you most likely have because you're watching this video, so you have like internet, so you most likely have the basic and bare essentials in your life as well. You don't need much to be happy. Happiness comes from within. Next up, we have the Villain. So in the Villain, I do see here that you can always rewrite your story, and that's one thing that the universe wants to communicate to you, group number 4. Especially if you've been feeling kind of bad about your accomplishments, or you feel like you're not where you've wanted to be at this age, or you're not as successful as you envisioned yourself to be, you can always rewrite your story. And it starts with taking yourself out and reconnecting with yourself, spending time with only you. So not with a partner, not with a friend, not with a family member, but actually asking yourself, what do I say about myself when I'm alone? Like, what is the story that I tell myself about who I am? Is that a story of someone who is brave, or a story of someone who isn't successful? Is that a story of someone who is totally worth loving? Or do I tell myself that the story of who I am is someone who is insecure, or someone who is kind of lost? So it's very important for you to keep in mind that you write your story, and you can rewrite it or change it anytime. You are the author of the book that is you, group number 4. Next up, we have Anima Mundi. So in Anima Mundi, you're being called to accept all, okay, to graciously allow for any piece of information, for any piece of wisdom from the universe to guide you and to be a part of your existence without judging it or without grading it. So for example, just listening to this reading, group number 4, don't feel like one thing is bad and another thing isn't. We're all working on ourselves. We're all working on our book of life, on our own personal story. And just because these cards showed up, and I'm being very upfront, direct, and honest with you about what they mean, that actually means that you have so much opportunity within your life to change, to move things forward, and to rewrite your story. So I have my bag of charms right here, group number 4. Let's see what we get. Okay, we get this musical note first and foremost, group number 4. So make music a part of your story. Allow yourself to dance to music, allow yourself to enjoy music, and to make it almost like a part of your ritual. So for example, waking up in the morning, turn on a song that makes you feel good, that makes you feel like you can fly. Next up, we have the bird, group number 4, which is just a symbol of freedom. It is a symbol of being able to free your mind, but also your body, and to conquer any new heights that you set your mind to. Next, we have the sun. Your charms are so positive, group number 4. The sun is all about basking in light, in sunlight, getting that vitamin D, but also allowing yourself to just be happy with where you are, to be content with your natural state that you're in right now. Next up, we have the sea star. So group number 4 in the sea star, I can definitely see here that the universe wants you to allocate all of your energy to moving into one direction, okay? So not spreading yourself too thin. As you may or may not know, the sea star has lots of almost like little legs below it. It looks like it only has like 5 legs, right? 5 areas, but actually beneath it, it has like hundreds of little legs. So if all of those little legs don't move in one direction, the sea star would just remain complacent, right? Because the legs wouldn't quite have the order that they need in order to thrive and move forward. So that is one thing that the universe wants you to take as an analogy on board for your own life. Next, we have Kairos, group number 4. So in Kairos, I can see here that it's important for you to keep an eye out for new opportunities, as well as new paths that you may take courageously, and allowing yourself to know that you can do anything. Like if someone else has done it, you can 100% do it, group number 4. The only thing that you have to make sure is in place is self-love, self-belief, and reminding yourself that if it has already been done at some point of humanity's existence, then you can definitely do it too. Next up, we have the storm. Now, group number 4, in the storm, I see some sort of division that's coming, and I do see here that a fated piece of information that you need to hear is that storms frequently come, and they do create destruction. They do create separation, but it is important in conjunction to Anima Mundi as well as Kairos to accept that this is just a part of life, and you won't be with the same group of people for your entire existence. Relationships inherently are made to change. They are made to evolve. They are going to evolve. There's nothing that you can do in order to make the clock stop or in order to freeze one beautiful moment. Change is the only thing in our human existence that is inevitable, so you might as well get used to it, and you might as well learn to ride the wave, whether it crashes or whether it's allowing you to be carried onto the shore of a new island and explore that island before you get onto the next wave. So as we did discuss in The Villain, you don't have to vilify yourself. You don't have to vilify society or other people because of how we've been programmed to not love ourselves or not care as much about others or the planet. You can rewrite that story and remind yourself that change is something that's inevitable, and with change always come new opportunities, but you have to be open to them. And if you're too encompassed in a story that vilifies humanity, yourself, maybe men, women, capitalism, whatever it is that you feel you've vilified over the years, it's important for you to know that you can untangle that knot, you can rewrite that story, and do so in a way that serves you and that can actually encourage growth. Next up, we have the King of Cups. So one thing that I can see here in the King of Cups, group number 4, is the fact that moving forward for you is going to happen with a water sign by your side. So think a Pisces, think a Scorpio, think a Cancerian, someone who is very connected to their emotions, and someone who is most likely also older than you and more experienced than you are. I can see here in the Six of Pentacles that this is someone who is most likely going to give you really great business advice and help, and someone who is just overall making sure that they are including you in all of their wins. So this could be a partner, this could also be a friend or a family member who is mentoring you, who is giving you great advice and also helping you financially where you may need help, but they want to see you put in the work first. So as we spoke about in the Five of Coins, the Temperance card, as well as the Knight of Coins, and you making sure that you're not spending way too much money, make sure that you're not doing so, because you may be sabotaging this person in the King of Cups helping you out because they can see that you can't handle your own money, so why would they give you any money? So that means, for example, a bank not giving you a loan, or a friend or family member not helping you out, whereas actually they would if they saw that you could handle your money, but because they see that you spend very frivolously, or maybe you don't have an understanding of every penny that comes in and goes out of your bank account or wallet. So that is something that makes other people, even though they can, not want to help you financially because they want you to get your own things in order first, group number 4. So make sure that you focus on that. That is a fated message that is here for you. I know it's a very earthly one, but at the same time, it is a very necessary one for you to hear. So I hope that you can appreciate my honesty. So group number 4, we're now at the end of your reading, and I really hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Leave a little sun emoji down below in the comment section if you made it to the end of your reading and you enjoyed it. As usual, feel free to comment what really hit home for you. You know I love reading your comments, and if you're here still and you're not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you doing, group number 4? Make sure that you hit that subscribe button because we clearly vibe with one another, and I would love to have you as a part of the Unicorn fam moving forward. Now group number 4, know that I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you in another one of my readings.